Relax, it's not time to panic. This second leg down in gold and silver is mostly a messy shakeout. Hawkish Fed talk, a stronger dollar, and leveraged traders being forced to sell into every bounce, not the end of the long-term bull story. After the first crash Friday, people hoped the Fed would stay dovish. Instead, Fed Governor Lisa Cook came out saying she would not back more cuts and is focused on upside inflation risk, which means rates higher for longer. That stance has lifted the dollar again, and today's move in gold is being directly tied to dollar strength choking off the early week rebound. The initial flush was triggered by Trump nominating Kevin Warsh, who markets see as a more hawkish and independent Fed chair, undermining the permanent debasement narrative that turbocharged the January meltup. The brief bounce earlier this week leaned on a flare-up in geopolitical risk. Now, headlines point to possible US-Iran talks resuming, which cools some of that fear bid and removes support from the safe haven trade. Silver's second slam is being pinned on China. Shanghai silver futures dropped about 15% in a session, and a big Chinese silver futures fund has been repeatedly locking at its daily loss limit, which forces exits and panic selling. Bloomberg and others note silver has now wiped out its entire two-day recovery from earlier this week, with volatility near highs, which tells you the deleveraging isn't finished. After January's parabolic move, positioning was still heavy. Every bounce gives trapped longs a chance to get out, so the market is treating strength as a liquidity event to sell into, rather than a fresh breakout. Commentators are describing this as a continuation of the same liquidation wave. Margin hikes, profit-taking, and risk-off across commodities, crypto, tech, rather than some new fundamental shock. Right now, the market is punishing late FOMO buyers and excess leverage, not long-term stackers with a multi-year horizon. These violent swings are what wash out weak hands and set the stage for the next sustained move. So stay calm, stay informed, and remember, this is what a real bull market correction looks like, not the end of the story. Always just the news here, not market advice. This is just educational information. Always talk with your own financial advisor before making any investment moves. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share our content so others can learn about gold and silver.